Hello everyone and welcome back to another brand new Motogp 24 equipment video. Today we are off to Portugal for the Portimao race of the season. Now a track that I find quite difficult on this game because I just think it just doesn't suit it. There's a lot of corners that are quite awkward and buggy on this game. Overall we started the weekend off not great. The pace, to be honest, wasn't bad, but I just didn't have a good feeling. The bike was not in control for a lot of the lap and I really was struggling, and I actually was quite fast when I had a tow. You see here at the midpoint of free practice that I had to use Jack Miller's GP25 in front of me to get a tow, and that's how I managed to get myself such a good position and lap time, and I get directly into Q2 for the first time this season and the first time critically on the KTM. But at this point in the race weekend I felt like that my straight line outright race pace wasn't good. I wasn't consistent, but when I was behind someone I felt much better, so I kind of wanted to change that. So coming into qualifying I made sure I did all my laps on my own, and I wanted to try and break the rhythm of trying to have to follow someone, because I didn't want to have to go into boat races with the kind of mentality that I have to have a wheel to get a lap in. But as the weekend went on, the weather gets worse and worse. So Friday you saw there we had lovely blue skies. Saturday morning here for qualifying it's very grey and overcast. We qualified PA pretty much identical lap time to what we did with the tow of Jack Miller on Friday. But yeah, going into potentially a very wet sprint on Saturday. Yet. So for Saturday's sprint we have the weather to play with as well. So our first attempt at riding the KTM in the rain. So I've yet to ride this, obviously being only testing in Qatar and racing Qatar. You don't see much rain there. So all in all, so far this weekend has been positive. We've made progress. And I must say, I'm a little bit nervous now because I felt like a good dry sprint and then a main dry race we could really build some momentum. But now we have a wet one. So we're going to Sunday's main race. If it's dry, it's looking potentially cloudy as well and overcast. The whole weekend has been a bit cloudy. So I don't really have the data I'd like over half race distance to put me in a good position for Sunday. So this wet sprint could be very good or very bad. Let's get it. Oh, a lot of congestion in turn one. Oh, contact with the back of the Aprilia of Maverick. It's not been a great start so far. Still in top 10 though, it's not too bad. We haven't lost that much positions, just doesn't feel like we're making any progress. Oh, front one's on the move. Getting a warning for some of our opening lap antics. Funny enough, I could see Acosta in front having a very similar moment than I had, so it looks like maybe the KTM isn't the most developed bike. Fortunately, Jack Miller and Johan Zarco have come together. Again, I can see Acosta struggling in front. He's off getting track limits. So potentially this KTM, as I have a huge front end save, maybe isn't amazingly set for the rain as we speak. Aprilia of Miguel, I believe, trying to go around the outside, doesn't get it done. Fortunately in this lap, we've just dropped to P10 at the end. At the last sector, we are very poor. We just cannot get the bike turned. But I don't feel too bad in the first half a lap. They're very strong on the brakes. Alex Marquez goes for move on Miguel, gets it done. But it looks like, can we get both of them into the right? That's wide for the Aprilia rider. And try and keep a tight line and get up the inside. Touch the curb slightly, not ideal. Big mistake again, this last sector, just I cannot do it. The guy's got me back, and I think that's Iagora. Very close to me. Fortunately, oh, it's not. It's Fabio Quartararo. I did not expect to see him. Lap 5 here, we still are ahead of Fabio. Managed to tough it out with him a few laps ago, but we are really struggling with the front end. The front is just set up badly, I think, to be honest. Kind of had to make a bit of a wild guess at what to put on the bike setup wise for this race, and I'm locking the front I can't trail brake essentially, which is really hampering my speed. Everywhere else I feel actually pretty decent. I feel like I have good rear grip. My straight line braking is okay, but as soon as we get to this point of the corner, I can't use the rear brakes, it unloads the front, so I'm really in a bit of a predicament at the moment on how to ride this bike. think it'll just come with a bit of time in the rain, really. I hope that we might get some more practice sessions where I can maybe experiment slightly with the setup, because it is different to the Honda. So I do remember the Honda, I could see again the front twitching there. The Honda was pretty good just out of the box, really, in the rain, whereas this KTM feels like work. Also made a small, bit of a lunge there from our boy. That would have been Fabio Quartararo again. One last thing, the gearing change as well, was they didn't apply the current gearbox I was running for this race again, so I kind of go back to a bit of a default one. It just feels like I'm just hanging in the gear slightly too much, or just not in the right part. So it's just not been a perfect setup for me for this race, so we're struggling quite a bit. Very aggressive from Frenchman. Fabio's behind us now, or Frankie, not Fabio. Fabio's still in front of us. Surely we should have the legs on the Yamaha. Into turn one, we're going to just try and creep up the inside of Frankie. We do we get it stopped? Just about do. We can see again, just some understeer in turn one out onto curb. Now we're down to P12, but I think here in the last few laps my goal is get back ahead of Fabio Quartararo, because I think I'm quicker than him overall. He just has parts of the track where he can overtake. Try a bit of a move maybe on Morbidelli down here. Coming from a long way back. Yeah, we're going straight on here. Yeah, I can feel it. For some reason I still can't turn in this corner. Oh, Jorge Martin has been the man. What is with the top guys? Igor has gone for a lunge. We're wide ourselves. He's actually gotten the move done, in fairness to him. We're going to slide up the inside. A bit of contact. That is Miller behind me. I saw a purple helmet. Oh no, it's Maverick. We're going wide. Floodgates have opened here. Oh, our front's on the move. We're going to be behind another KTM in a second, into the gas one. The sprint in the last few laps here is falling apart. Getting bullied a small bit here in this rain. Last lap time. We're close to these guys. We're faster in the first sector. Put a bit of a move on Rins if we can. Slide up the inside. Look for the move again down into the very difficult turn 4. Last corner, unfortunately, it's not going to be a good result in the sprint for me. Just lacking setup time in the rain, I think, just really cost us in this one, really, to be brutally honest. So, unfortunately for me, Brad is in P6, but only in the sprint, and Pedro in 4th. So, my main goal for the first 3 races of the season is to beat Brad, and I think we're probably pretty close after that sprint now, because I was down in P16. I felt good in some areas, but the front end was very weak, and when you have a weak front end, the rain, not much you can do really. I couldn't brake as late as I want. The bike was fishtailing around, and that was putting weight on and off the front, with the elevation and the lumps and the bumps of Portimao. Just made it pretty unbearable to ride. So unfortunately, it looks like we are a little bit behind the 8-ball in the wet, but hopefully tomorrow's main race will be dry. So we are being told in our ear that it is likely to be flag to flag, which I'm quite unhappy about, to be honest. My feeling in the dry is that we could have some good speed and we could have a good race. So yeah, we're going to have to try and get an amazing start, get as far forward as possible, because the way I have the bike set for the dry, I don't imagine I'll be any better in the rain. So a little bit disappointed because we just didn't have the performance yesterday, and I really am probably not going to be any better on Sunday. So we're looking at probably potentially a flag to flag, which is not going to be ideal, to be honest. So yeah. Lights held for a long time. Seem to get better launches on this KTM more often, but not still good enough really. Be aggressive into 1. Try and thread the needle. Marcus has come back and hit me. Oh, there's riders all over the place. Marcus again. Other Marcus going for lunge into turn 3. Been a messy opening, couple of sectors, or corners even. Trying to road around the outside. We're under investigation for a lot of collisions, but not really sure what I could have done. We've gotten a warning. I was being bumped and barged from all angles. But we're in P5, so it's been a positive start. 2 warnings immediately. I'm not too sure. It must be again for another little bump and barge on someone. Oh, we've had a red flag. A red flag already. I'm not too sure what's gone behind. I've seen both Trackhouse and Aprilia's out at the back. So, yeah, that might affect the way the race goes for the weather. So it's a complete full restart, so should be the same for the weather in a minute, if it comes. I'll be very aggressive on the inside curb. Look at that, nice lunge up into P4. Throw the bike in, hopefully nobody's there, and there's not, in fairness. I want to clear Nea and get onto the back of the 2 GP25s in front of me. This point in the race, it looks like Pecco is stealing a bit of a march at the moment, but I kind of keep him with Bastianini comfortably and Jorge Martin, so I'm going to try and just sit in. Hopefully they can pull me along away from everyone else. There's no other KTMs by the look of it in the top 8, so we're doing our objective quite well here. Oh, Bastianini right in front of me has lost the front, and that's kind of broken the slipstream toe to Jorge Martin. But he has appeared to have remounted, which is a bit annoying that they can remount that fast, to be honest, but here's what it is at this point in the race. We're into the podium positions again for the 2nd time in 2 weeks. We're actually slowly but surely pulling in Jorge Martin. He's making a lot of mistakes into this turn 3. And here comes the rain. First few drops right on cue. We have a 2.5 second gap back to Marquez. We'll just have to do what the guys in front are doing because I have very little experience in this. You can see how deep I went there. I'm gonna lie, I don't even know what the procedure is for this in game anyway. So we have to wait for white flag to say we can swap bikes and then we can pop into the pit. But we are head and heels faster than Martin at the moment. There it is, white flag. We can pit. We're gonna go for the pit. We're gonna go for it. Feels pretty wet already. Martin stay going. I think Pecco's in. On speed 37. Oh, we've sped into the pit. A regular pit entry. Oh, I can't believe that's happened. So that is a long lap to do. That's great. So we have to do a long lap as well. I don't even know what a long lap is in this track. I think it's in the last sector. That is not great. Here we go. Out on the wet tires, and the wets were not great yesterday in the sprint for me, so this could be the end of my very, very strong main race on Sunday. Can't believe that now. I thought the line was a lot further along. I was trying to slow it down, I just couldn't. Very long pit entry and pit exit. He's doing all sorts of shenanigans in the exit there. Now, will it have paid off? Jorge Martin staying out the extra lap. Oh, Binder's crashed immediately. And we have a red flag. So, we're going to go fresh softs for the remaining sprint. It's going to be a little splash and dash. Again, another kind of wet sprint. Hopefully, I can just have a better run and maybe get away with it. I'm not too sure, really. I'm quite disappointed because it looked like we were going to catch and pass Jorge Martin. So, yeah, I know we're back down in P8. So, it's a bit of a... It's a bit of an issue, yeah. I'm not too sure. That's kind of screwed me over in this one. Here we go. So, restart. We're way further back than we should be. Lights held for an age. Be aggressive again into turn 1. We still have that long lap, which has kind of ruined us, really, if you think of it. We had gaps everywhere all over the field to take that long lap. Immediate field, we just don't have the speed. Long lap is coming up. We're going to wait till next lap. If we're still in the race by then, that was a big moment. It's just there on the left. But any chance of beating Binder, who was out of the race, and then the red flag has allowed him to restart. Probably going out the window now, because again we are pretty slow straight away in this wet. Painfully long lap. Look who we've come out behind. Man, we need to beat, so maybe it isn't the worst thing in the world to happen. Got a good run up over the hill. Much better than our teammate. Back up into P9 we go. From here now, we're going to have to push on. See can we get ahead of Marini on the Honda. Oh, and already lost the front underneath him we go. No, the sector 1 is where I'm strong, so I'm going to have to be a bit over the limit. But already, we're nearly back with the Aprilia in front of us. Only a couple of positions up the road, so really I would have thought I lost more with that long lap. Inside from Marini. We're just so bad in this second half of the lap. Front is just not with us at all. It looks like as well for most of the lap Acosta's struggling with the front end, so thankfully it looks like maybe it's just a bike thing and not on me exactly. And again we get great drive and shows compared to the Honda we do have more aero, which is a good sign. Massive lunge. That came from so far back. We ran wide, but we did keep it. And we're now up into P7. I was just a hope and pray that one. I don't know how I managed to get in so deep, to be honest. Qualified 8, we're back into P7, so shows I think this weekend we've had pace and we just have not been able to get a good clean weekend run at it. This right now, I just want to see can we get up to 5th from decent points. You can just see we're drifting over the hill. Just lost a bit of ground. Again, we're losing a lot in mid corner. We're getting a great exit. Can we get Jack into turn 1? Have to be late as possible on the brakes. We're even gaining on Vinales. We have got the position done. We'll go to the inside now for Vinales, and we do get the position done. So we're back to our P5 that we were occupying before the long lap, which I'm really surprised by. Now we just have a handful of laps left to just kind of bring this bike home for another top 5. So halfway through lap 6, and I'm actually catching the two Marquez brothers in front. I've just realised I have one warning left, and it will be a long lap penalty if I get it, so I need to be squeaky clean for the remaining lap and a half here. We have a bit of a gap, thankfully, to the Ducati of Miller behind, as well as Vinales under Aprilia. So I think to be honest, I just kind of maybe just try and go around at a good pace, keep them off my back, as well as stay away from any of the AstroTurfs and make sure I don't get myself another warning, because at this point in the race, it'll just have to take the penalty in 3 seconds. Will put me back probably where Brad Binder is, which would not be good. So as we start the last lap, we are catching Marc Marquez. I thought it was Alex actually for most of the race that I was catching after I got ahead of Maverick. But I think it shows that we have a big slide dunk on the green. Oh, I was so close to getting a long lap, but I think it's showing that we have made a bit of a step already in the rain. Compared to yesterday, we were not pushing on for the podium positions. Oh, and Alex Marquez has snuck off on the last lap. Oh, that puts us in P4. Promotes his brother into the podium positions. So we've gained a position, and we are catching Mark hand over fist. About a second a lap at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the podium. Oh, Marcus is down in front of me. Oh, we've been gifted a podium here. Oh, I cannot believe it. I believe they might have gone out on same tyres from the sprint yesterday on Scrub the Wet, because the pace seems very different. But we're going to get our podium that we do deserve from the dry period of the race. But man, this has been a crash fest so far of a season. We're taking it very gingerly through the final corner. Up to the line we come, and it's going to be 2 podiums in 2 main races for me. Get in. So I reckon everyone probably used worn wets, to be honest, for the sprint. Or sorry, after the sprint, because when we had the red flag after coming out of the pits, I was actually on worn wet. So I reckon that is where the pace advantages come, because if you see, I'm still 2 seconds off of what Pecco did in his fast lap. So I think he had grip at the start and then just lost a lot of speed, because we ended up only 7.5 seconds off with a long lap. Take roughly 3 seconds off. We were less than 5 seconds off to win. But again, another podium. I'm so happy. Alex and Mark both finished 4th and 5th after their tipping off. And yeah, any other KTMs in 8th position for Acosta on the Gas KTM. And Brad comes home in P10, which gives us another chunk of points over him in the championship. We move up 2 positions now into P5. We go ahead of Acosta, so we are now the lead KTM. What a turn of events after the feelings we were having before the sprint in Qatar versus what we're having now after getting a podium in Qatar and a podium here in the wet. It just shows that at the moment the sprint races seem to be a massive issue. I just feel like I learn a lot from them. It's just like last year, really. I think I make a step from the sprint to the main race, and I think maybe sometimes there's a bit of a tire offset that just gives me a bit of an advantage. But this time around, we really picked up some real good speed and just overall precision. The bike still isn't perfect. I'm having a lot of issues. What you're not seeing is all of the Friday practice that I'm doing, and I'm having so many front slides and rear slides and running off track and stuff. So it's a massive task at the moment to get this bike to where it is, but I am enjoying it.
The third place finisher has just arrived back. This is a podium that's good for the morale of the whole team and confirms that the rider bike package is really competitive. The passion of the Motogp fans is, as always, astounding. Today's result is made even more exhilarating by the size of the crowd for the 3 riders on the podium right now.
So once again, our rewards are exactly the same as in Qatar, so we don't gain anything, we lose it quite a bit for the not getting a podium in the sprint, but we gain a massive 50,000 reputation for the P3 in the main race. So once again, just about doing enough. And again, I just thinking back to how I felt before we turned the wheel in Qatar, and I just felt like this is going to be a great season. And then all the memories came rushing back at Honda after the whole pre-season test that we had at Qatar, and basically the weekend up until the sprint had been terrible. A couple of crashes, and yeah, it just wasn't going well. So the fact now that we have 2 podiums, we're in the top 5 in the championship, top KTM, and we have already nearly the lead rider objective done for KTM. So it's been a brilliant start to the season, which I really am happy about. So next up is Texas, and Texas is one of those racetracks where I usually go very well, but I'm not too sure how we'll get on there. It's one of those ones where, to be honest, until we get to Jerez, where we get a standard racetrack where it's a bit more normal. So far, we've had a night race with very weird conditions. We've had a up and down roller coaster Portimao, which again isn't really a normal track. There's so much elevation change. And then Texas, well, Texas is Texas. It's up, it's down, it's bumpy, it's wide, it's long, it's fast, it's everything. So this again is another weird track. So until a round after next, where we get to Jerez, where we'll also have a post-race test, which I'm really looking forward to, getting a few bits on the bike for the rest of the season. So at the moment, we're kind of just biding our time at the moment to see what we can get out of this bike. But once we get to Jerez, we'll know. And then we'll also have the test on the Monday, which will really be interesting. But next time we're off to Texas, I really look forward to it. Hopefully, we can beat Brad again and become KTM team leader, because that will be really important for the development for the rest of the year. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed episode 2 of season 2. It's been a good episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Slán go fóill.